welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my Asexualized. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now or post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content, if you find it useful, helpful, insightful in any way, or you find it entertaining, or you just want to give this channel some love. The thumbs up really does help me out. I totally appreciate it. And if you didn't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love Life Next, a celebration for asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of Asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy. Welcome to tonight's exciting episode. It's great to be back with you. You might have noticed that I'm back a night early from when I originally said I was. I just couldn't stay away, obviously. I have my Asexual Meetup Mastery course that I need to crack on with tomorrow morning. My dad gave me some money for Christmas, so I've been out doing some Christmas clothes shopping for going clubbing, because I'm due to go clubbing this Tuesday, because I was with my parents and with Angel over New Year. So my celebration, my dancing celebration to myself will be on Tuesday, and I've got some new clothes, which is great. So what has happened? Well, since we last spoke, you might have remembered there was a guy on Facebook who I met, and he was actually a rapper. And I met him through the UK singles sexual dating group, not asexual dating group. And he was really interested in me. He showed deep interest. But he decided in the end that he definitely wanted to adopt children in the future. And if you remember me saying I definitely didn't want kids, I just don't want children, I don't want to adopt, I don't want that lifestyle. And so we decided to just be friends, and he's a nice person, I'm a nice person, just we aren't going to be together in a relationship at all, ever, because it's totally out of the question, like he even suggested that he could actually bring up the kid on his own and still date me. But I don't know why any guy would want to do that, really, in terms of like the kid would usually want a mother. And I said that to him, what would happen then later on if the kid wanted a mother? Likely we wouldn't be together anyway. So, and he said that he thinks that I would feel the kid would get in the way, which I would. And so it's mutually agreed that, we just remain friends. I think he's a cool guy. I think I'm a good girl. Everything is great. And so anyway, that door closed. It just went bang shut. And what they say is when one door closes, another one opens. But I wasn't expecting it to open so quickly. So I'm glad that we drew a line under that. I'm glad we were just friends. To be honest, it's very difficult because I really want to be with an asexual guy, not a sexual guy, because I am asexual. I lack sexual attraction. I don't get the need, urge, want for partner's sexual intercourse. And it's a lot better in terms of peace of mind sexually that I have a guy who's like me, that's not going to go lusting after other women. There's no chance of him going off to have sex with a woman because he's not interested in sex. I really want an asexual guy for me, to be honest. But obviously I'm still, I'm still going to go clubbing. I'm still going to go kissing foreign guys if I want to, if I feel comfortable with. I'm still going to the year of 2020 is probably going to be when I'm dating quite a bit, or certainly, hi Sam, nice to see you, nice to be back. So I was just recapping on what happened with the guy on Facebook from the sexual dating group, that he definitely did want to adopt kids in the end. So basically mutually agreed just to be friends. So I thought it was important just to let you know that recap bit. But then I went on to say that when one door closes, another one opens. And I wasn't expecting this one to open so quickly. And I have kept this secret because you're my best friend. You didn't even know this. And it's oh, wow, I haven't told anyone this. I kept it. The only people that know are my mum, because she was sat there next to me when it happened. That's quite funny. So yes, I have been asked out on a first asexual date from an asexual British guy, to my surprise. So when I said one door closes, another opens, I wasn't expecting another one to open so quickly. So literally the guy and me decided, the one on Facebook, both good people, he wants to adopt, I don't. We're both a bit disappointed that it wasn't going to go elsewhere, but it wasn't. And that was the end of that, basically. He said, I'd like to be your friend and still keep in touch. Whether he will or not, I don't know. We're still friends on Facebook, but you know, it's all cool. So, well, that's how it was left, basically. And so that's it with that. Just Facebook friends at the moment. That's it, not going anywhere. And, you know, it's never going to go anywhere because he wants kids and I don't. So I made that perfectly clear. I mean, I even said that in my profile, but I think he just didn't really fully take in that, like, you know, when someone's actually thinking about seriously having a relationship rather than just playing around, oh, thanks for the thumbs up. You know, they tend to think more logically than like, in the future, I want kids and you don't, you know what I mean? So he went away to think about it, which is good. So anyway, so that door closed and then I wasn't expecting this other door to open. So I was on ASAP, which is the asexual dating app for asexuals. And I got this message from this guy on there, which I wasn't expecting, a British guy. Right now, on my profile, I've changed my profile recently. You're going to love this. Right, I've changed my profile recently because I thought, oh, just sod it, you know? Excuse my language. I'll change my profile just one little bit, right? And so in my profile, what have I put? I'm trying to get back to my own profile here. My own profile. Oh my gosh. Right, so I just changed it this one little bit. Because I put looking for looking foreign guy in his 20s for serious no sex relationship. Love, honesty, tonkis in PDA. So I changed it to hot and I thought, stuff it. You know, just because I'm asexual doesn't mean to say I don't deserve a hot looking guy, as in hot, aesthetically looking, as in gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous, you know. I deserve a guy like that. Why not, you know? And if I'm going to be with a sexual person, which I'd rather be with an asexual person, I may as well be with a hot sexual guy looking guy, or whatever guy I date, you know. I deserve a good looking guy. So I decided to change it and put exactly what I meant and put looking for hot looking foreign guy in his 20s for serious no sex relationship, love, honesty, tonkis in PDA. That's what I've put before, you know. I've just changed it to hot. And I took the word British out of that. The word British is no longer like, because I thought, you know, every time I've been kissing someone in club and being attracted to someone lately, it's been a foreign guy, not a British guy. So I kind of took British out of that only like less than a week ago, I think it was. And it's kind of crazy that this British guy turned up, and you know, so it's really funny. But it does say in my profile that I hold ace meets as well as my book being published. Do you know what I mean? So asexuals really can contact me through anything, right? Now I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of things about this guy that I actually liked, despite the fact he's only 20. So yes, I am a bit shocked that a 20-year-old has asked me on my first asexual date. And so the reason I'm a bit shocked by this is because one is I have never dated or I've never been in a relationship or dated a guy younger than 21. And the guy that I thought was 21, who I did date, I thought he was 23, and I found out later he was 21. So he was a foreign guy years ago, Bangladesh guy, and it didn't work out because he wanted sex, and he was the one that said, oh, well, no problem, I can have you as my girlfriend and have sex with other women. I said, it's not on, I'm not interested, right? So that's the guy who's 21. I have been asked out in a nightclub before by an 18-year-old if I would on a date, and I was asked, this was a few years ago, and I was asked to go back to his place. Well, his place would be a dormitory because it was Freshers Week, so he just started university. So I'm assuming he was 18. Yeah, so it's kind of like crazy, but I said no, and they were still asking me out afterwards to a restaurant. I said no, you know, because I'm not that type of girl. I don't have sex, you know. So anyway, usually I say 21 years and upwards, right? Because I feel comfortable saying 21 upwards overall, but I do get younger guys interested in me. So I wasn't expecting this 20-year-old to actually ask me on my first date, and he does look younger than 20. So that's the only thing that I get a little bit worried and concerned about. If I'm being absolutely honest, he does look younger in his picture than that. And it's like, do you know what I mean? That is the only thing that I find a little bit difficult. But the reason why I've continued the conversation and basically agreed to a date is because of all the other attributes he's got just through messaging me. Like, he is a real man so far in his way he's come across, his way he takes leadership of things, the way he talks to me. And so I like all that about him already. So I thought, why not? But I've said to him that I want to have a Skype date with him first. So we're doing that on Wednesday at 2:00, which will be absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to tell you now how the conversation got started. So I'm going to tell you what I like about this guy, right? Despite his age, right? Okay, his birth certificate age is 20. Yeah, it is a bit younger than I wanted, to be honest with you. And obviously he's British, not foreign. I was particularly thinking about foreign guys, but yeah, the only thing that the two things so far that worry me, I guess, is one, he looks younger than he is, and two, he does drink alcohol. And obviously I'm glad that he told me the truth about that, but I don't drink any alcohol whatsoever, so I don't really I would prefer, if it went further than just a date, for example, if I was in a relationship with if I was in an actual relationship, I'd prefer to be with a guy who didn't drink alcohol. But I am quite aware that the majority of guys in the world do drink alcohol. So, and, I don't want a guy who's going to lie about that. I'd rather a guy be straight up front and tell me the damn truth, because I've still got, my best female friend, she drinks. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like I'm not around anyone that drinks ever. So, and my parents drink a little bit. But, anyway, there are lots of things I do like about him. So first of all, it was really sweet. The first message he sent me, I didn't obviously expect it to lead to a date. So he said, "Hi, what was it like publishing asexual stories to the public?" So the reason I like this, and if you are a person who is interested in someone on a dating site at all whatsoever, and you're watching this now, this is really good advice for how you can show that you're really interested in a person, right? This guy picked something out of my profile. He picked the fact that I'd written my asexual perspectives book. This, asexual perspectives, 47 asexual stories. This is in my bio. I say I'm author of this book, right? So he's purposely read my bio. So I know for a fact he's read my bio and took time, energy, and effort to actually read it, right? Because he's specifically picked out something in my bio, and he's asking me a question about how I feel. It's a feeling question, like, what was it like to publish asexual stories to the public? So that's like a feeling question. When you ask someone a question based on their feelings, it's an emotional question you're asking. You want an emotional response. So you are automatically, on some subconscious level, connecting to them emotionally just by asking that question. I bet he didn't actually think of this, but I'm going to analyze what he's done, and it's very good. But he probably won't have even been consciously aware of all this stuff necessarily, right? But I'm just breaking it down for you how I see it, and why this is a really good guy in this way, in terms of a possible date, because he's already paid attention to something in my bio. So if you're on a dating site and you don't know what to say to someone, you like the look of them, go and read their bio and pick something out of it and approach them with that. That is a sensible thing to do. So this guy might be young and birth certificate age, but he clearly is competent in reading a profile and actually asking me about something in it, and he approached me, right? So I replied back to that, and I said, "Have you got my book?" And he said, "Unfortunately, I haven't read your book. I don't read much. Is it mostly a collection of your stories or multiple people?" See, he didn't lie. He didn't go around saying, "I've read your book," or bullshit me, excuse my language, but he didn't. You see, so that means he's a really honest guy. He's not telling me what I want to hear, which obviously all the authors love to hear. People go, "Oh, I've bought your book," but I don't want to hear people who've bought my book who haven't actually bought it for whatever reason. Do you know what I mean? Not everyone has to buy it. And so I liked the fact he was honest about that and open and upfront. He wasn't trying to sweet talk me. He wasn't trying to tell me something that wasn't true about him. And he was being really, really honest. He said he didn't read that much. I mean, I personally don't read that much. I watch mostly educational videos to learn, because I'm very slow at reading. That's why when I do my books, I specifically break down every person's story into its own chapter. So it's very, very easy to read and consume. Because like I said, I personally am a very slow reader. So if I have a book where chapters are broken down easy to consume, it means I can easily pick it up. I can like say, oh, my target for today's 3 chapters or something. Do you see what I'm saying? Or you could just do a chapter a day. It's a much more easy to digest way of configuring a book and taking it in, absorbing the information. Anyway, I was explaining about my stories the first, and there are 46 other stories. And then he's put, that sounds like a lot of stories. You must be so proud. So, you know, already he's kind of like going a roundabout way of praising. Sam, I am also slow at reading and find it difficult, which is one thing I like about your books, how they are broken down. Oh, thanks, Sam. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, because in case people didn't know, like they've all got their own chapter. Even in my fibromyalgia book, they're done in short chapters. So I like creating short chapters, short snappy chapters, if you know what I mean. I don't like doing like just, you know, loads of narratives all the time. Do you see what I mean? It's easy to read. Even my fibromyalgia book. You haven't got this yet, you should get it if you've got depression or anxiety, even if you haven't got fibromyalgia, because it's really good. It helps with depression and anxiety. So this book is longer, but it does like have key points to remember on it. So it's broken down into key points to remember, and it has got a lot of like titles like that. And then it's still, you know, it's still got a lot of stuff broken down, you know. So it's got a lot of chapters in it. It's got like about 25 different chapters. You know, so it's like, again, you know, the chapters are not too long. Do you know what I mean? You know, you've got quite a few chapters in here, but I kept it short and snappy. Do you know what I mean? So it's easy to read because I don't want something that's going to take, you know, something should be easy to digest, in my opinion. And like me and Sam are the same, and I'm sure there's probably some other people out there, you know. I just want an easily digestible book. I don't want to be reading tons and tons of stuff for hours and hours and hours. I want to digest it. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. So you know, that's a really important point. So yeah, I'm digressing anyway. So basically, so yeah, so you know, it's you know, and that's what I mean by saying you must be so proud. He's kind of indirectly saying, I'm proud of you doing that. That's what I take that as, because if someone says to you, you must be so proud, it's like they're acknowledging the fact that you should be proud of that, and in and of that their own right, that means they are proud of you in an indirect way. Do you see what I mean? So again, I feel that was him praising me, that it was you know, which it was a really, really nice thing to say. So again, I thought that was a really good start to a conversation, and he's leading the conversation. You know, he's then saying, Happy New Year, how are you celebrating? So he's keeping the conversation going. It's not me trying to instigate the conversation. It's not me trying to keep it going all the time. It's not me trying to think up questions just to ask him. He is being proactive. And so this is what I like about this guy. He is being proactive. And that's what I really, really appreciate about him, you know? So I said that I was really proud and everything, and I said that I was really proud and everything. What else happened? Right, okay. So they asked me how I was celebrating, so I said that, and they said, sounds nice. I'm just at a friend's drinking, but going to a proper party on Thursday. So yeah, I haven't heard from them much today. I heard from them just this morning briefly, and that was it. But they are having a massive friends party, so for New Year. So so I guess I can't really expect them to like message me when they're with their friends. Do you know what I mean? Apart from they were doing that the other day when he was with this other friend on Thursday. No, not Thursday, today, Tuesday, a couple of days ago. He was messaging me when he was with his friend, as far as I know, because he said he was with his friend. So that's another thing I liked about him. I thought, oh, you're not afraid to message me when your friends are around. And that's kind of like really important, because, you know, like I know you shouldn't be messaging all the time when you got your friends with you, right? You have to cut off, because I have to cut off when I'm with my friends. But by the same token, you shouldn't have a guy or person saying they're interested in you and they hi my life and they never actually, you know, talk about you in front of their friends. So I'm assuming he was with his friend. He probably said something about me, like I'm messaging this girl on ASAP. I'm assuming, because he said he was with his friend. But you know, he might not have been with his friend all day, or at that time he's messaging me. I don't know. But anyway, so I thought that was really, really nice. And then I said that I am really proud of my book. It took me a year to write for the book. That was really good, you know. So he told me what he's doing. I thought it was nice that he actually told me what he's doing. I didn't have to really keep, you know, I said, how are you celebrating? He told me, and he told me he's going to proper party on Thursday. So he's already told me about that. So I know already that the fact that you just messaged me this morning, I haven't heard from him for the rest of the day, considering he's keen on a date with me, means that, like, he's already kind of forewarned me that he's with his friends, so don't expect to hear from me, if you know what I mean. So I don't know if he's doing all this consciously, but, this is what I liked about him so far. Do you know what I mean? This is like the initial stages, like. And he asked me how old my guinea pig was, Angel, and she sounds lovely. So again, that kind of like warmed my heart to him that he seems to like animals, because he said she sounds lovely. So he's obviously like appreciates pretty animals. So again, that was another good thing about him. So like I'm trying to say, younger guys do have their benefits in and of their own right. Age is just a number, right? I'm clearly like younger guys, right? But my birth certificate age is different to who I am. And just because someone's younger doesn't mean to, just because someone's younger doesn't mean to say they doesn't mean to say you should treat them like they're younger, right? Hi, Irvin, Ricardo. Doesn't mean to say you should treat them like an equal, right? So obviously I'm treating him like an adult, which he is, So this is what I really liked about him, sounds like it. And I was talking about, I sent him a picture of me and Angel. And then I said that I'm likely going out clubbing next Tuesday. So I did tell him about that. And the place I go to once a month, the place for music. I said I kissed Bangladesh guy last time, Indian guy before. And it was so nice to be kissed a lot again. To enjoy that for what it is without sex. I had to make sure I get boundaries and stuck to them though. So I was talking about the music I liked and all that lot with him. So and I asked him how did he find out he was asexual and when. So he was explaining that to me, how he found out and when he identified, which was 2000. Started questioning being ace in 2018. And then in November, he presumably November of 2018 is when he found out about it, because I asked him how it affects his relationships as well. And he said it hasn't affected my relationships that much, since I didn't have any romantic relationship before or after. In other words, he hasn't had a romantic relationship in his whole life before he found out he's asexual or after. So that's quite nice in and of itself that he hasn't had a previous relationship. And then, obviously the drawback of that is he might not know how to act in a relationship. Do you know what I mean? So obviously that could be a downside, doesn't know how to act in a relationship, but it's kind of nice because you can kind of teach the person or show the person or suggest the person how you like to be treated going forward, or you can treat the whole thing with fresh perspective. The person's not got any hang-ups or baggage from previous relationships. They're open to new things, especially if they're 20. They're going to be open to more new things than an older guy is usually. But he's asked me on a date. He hasn't asked me for a relationship. We must remember this, people. It's a date. It's not like the end of the world. or a relationship, is it? The date's a date, right? So basically he was saying that it's just his friend. He was seeing then, and he should be having a bigger party on Thursday, which is today. It was saying what music he likes. I was asking about that, which was nice. He told me drinks, which I was glad about, even though I don't drink alcohol, personally don't like it. I was glad he told me the truth. What kind of socks do you wear now? I wear the same socks as I always wear, which is my special, which is trainer socks with ventilation panels. Stops the freaks from swelling. Right. So he was asking me how did I find out if I liked kissing? And is it a try it and see thing, or you just know? So it sounds like he's never kissed before. So that's really interesting. But he sounds interested in it. So because he was asking me how I found out I liked it. So I was saying when I found out I liked it at the age of 6. Wow, that's really young. Did any of your exes know that you were ace? And I said none of my heterosexual exes up until 2014 knew that I was ace. And as I didn't know until that year, and I was single and just dating after that. Every guy who's interested in a relationship with me now, I tell now. I had a brief relationship with a young British guy this year, and he was 23 and heterosexual, and he knew and even promoted my channel videos on his Facebook profile and came and joined in the chat, but it didn't work out between us, so I had to move on. So yeah, so he knew then that I had actually had a relationship with a British guy. So that told a lot of information to him without actually saying, even though it doesn't say it in my profile. Then he asked this amazing question. He's very clever, I think, without even knowing it, I think. See, but shame it didn't work out. Have you been with any aces, or are we too hard to find in real life? So clearly this guy is like, this is when I started to think that he must be really interested in me a bit, because it's the way he's phrased the question. It's kind of like one of those questions he's phrased it could just be general, asking out of interest, or it could be like he wants to know if I've been with any asexuals because he's interested in me. I didn't know, when a guy's 20 years old and he's coming on Acebook and not Acebook, Ace app, and he's talking to you in private message, and he hasn't said from the beginning his exact intention, then I kind of have to think like it could be one of 3 things. One is he's interested in actual or possible relationship with me. 2 is he's interested in coming to Asexual Meetup because it says it in my profile. Or 3, he just wants to know more about asexuality and the work I do for asexuals, which is also in my profile. So it could be any one of the 3 things, which is, just guessing until they make it blatantly obvious. But I always prefer a younger guy, which is really good. I always prefer the younger guy, especially if he's that young, to actually say stuff to me before I say stuff to him, because I find it's a lot more comfortable, because then I know that age doesn't matter to him. So I find it was much more beneficial that he he was the one who instigated the initial message and is keeping the conversation going. This is a very adult type of thing to do. I've spoke to other guys and it's like, the conversation's not very flowing. So it's not, and this guy seems to really take an interest in me and me as a person. Do you know what I mean? So this is very, very long answer, which led to the date. So when he said, shame it didn't work out, have you been with any aces, or are we too hard to find in real life? This was my answer. So this is very interesting for you to listen to as well, because this is how my asexual dating life has gone, right? So I put, I'm going to read it out to you, okay? So that's why I'm looking down. So I have asexual friends in real life. I hold asexual meetups in my city of Exeter in the UK, and people come from all over the UK to them. From Hertfordshire, which is where my best asexual friend lives, they are into guys. Weston-super-Mare, where my other best asexual friend lives, he is also into guys. Worcestershire, he is into much older women. I am far too young looking for him. He likes grannies, really old ladies, but is a good friend. And from Newcastle, a guy came. He came once, was 20 years old, and he didn't mind about age of a person, but wanted kids, and I don't. I don't even want to adopt. I don't want to be a mum or do housework, cooking and cleaning for a guy or a kid. He must be able to take care of himself even though young. I'm a business girl and love being young myself, and I'm deeply into my career and changing people's lives and leaving a lasting legacy in and of my own right. Not into the mum/kid lifestyle at all, and enjoy living on my own. Another guy who came from Brighton wasn't into tongue kissing, because I am, and smoked. I can't be with a smoker and not interested in a guy like that. Where are we? Oh yeah. One guy gave me his number at the end of the meetup and said he wants to keep in touch with me in front of the other attendees. So I thought he was super interested in me, but never replied to any more than one text in which he said he would drive especially to see me. Then never followed up or spoke to me ever again. His loss. He has high functioning autism and realised during the meetup earlier that he doesn't really have time for a relationship. So it is his behaviour. It has nothing to do with me. One guy who comes I consider a friend, and I think he likes me a bit more than a friend, but I hardly hear from him, and he does not know what he wants, and he does not know what he wants in many aspects of his life. So it's no good to me. I met all these people, apart from my best friend from Hertfordshire, on asexual dating sites or on this dating app. But others come to my meetups, and I should let you know that my meetups are used for socialising and making friends, rather than dating or a relationship. But many of us are on dating sites / this app and looking for a relationship. So no asexual guy has been suitable romantically for me, and I have never been asked on an actual date with an asexual guy. I have only ever done Skype dating, but not for some time. One asexual guy who comes to my meetups and I consider a friend, but not a close or best friend, he is 58 and engaged to his 23-year-old asexual fiance. She was 22 when he proposed, and they are so in love. He's into younger girls and I prefer younger guys. So what I was doing is obviously explaining the full scenario of what's happened with asexual dating, which was nice to just kind of release that, just kind of tell someone, Hi Ray, nice to see you. So I just thought, that was incredible, a lot of information for him to digest. And so I thought, it was really good to just kind of get all that out of all the problems I've had with asexual dating, because it's been true, it's hard when you're trying to find someone compatible for asexual dating. I have people in my asexual dating group saying it's hard, and it is. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not an easy thing. But that doesn't mean to say we should give up. We should try all avenues and keep connecting with more and more people in order to find the right person for us, I would prefer to be with an asexual guy, but I'm still in the sexual dating groups on Facebook, and I'm still going out clubbing because I enjoy it. It's good fun, and because I do get to meet younger guys there, particularly foreign. So, and until I'm in an actual relationship, there's no problem with me going out kissing guys, because at the end of the day, I'm not in a relationship. I'm not, you know what I mean? So that was a lot of information I gave them. And did you also notice that that I said that my meetups are not usually, I should let you know that my meetups are used for socializing and making friends rather than dating or a relationship. But many of us are on dating sites and looking for a relationship. And then obviously I said about the age gap difference at the end. So I was kind of throwing these little bits in there, which is true, but on purpose, so he would know that my meetups aren't used for dating relationships. So if he wasn't looking to date me or have a relationship potentially with me, or liked me romantically or anything like that, he would know that he can come to a meetup and it doesn't matter, because you just make friends and socialize. So when I'm talking to younger guys, particularly that age group, and I don't know whether they're interested in me for a potential relationship, dating, or what, I need to make it clear to them that they are safe to come to an asexual meetup, that obviously if they're not interested in me romantically, I'm not going to advance that or go near that. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I like a guy who's in his early 20s, if he's going to be interested in me, to come to me and tell me. It's no good me going to him, really. I need him to show up. Do you know what I mean? Be strong. And this guy's really strong in that way. This guy's really strong, which is what I like about him. And obviously I talked about the age gap between my 58-year-old friend and his fiance, which is 35 years difference, basically. because he's 58 and she's 23, and they are, they're engaged to be married, both asexual, and they're really in love. And this guy came to my last asexual meetup, was explaining how wonderful their relationship is. So you can find true asexual love. It's true. And so obviously I've already kind of set the scene that it's normal for some asexuals to have a large age gap, right? Because I'm looking for a younger guy in his 20s, which clearly says on my profile. It doesn't say how old I actually am in birth certificate age, but it does say that I'm looking for a younger guy in his 20s, and I have a 21st mindset, but I'm not 21 in birth certificate age. So this is after he'd heard all that about the dating stuff. This is what he said to me, which I thought was super sweet. He said, I'd be very happy to take you on your and mine first asexual date if you want to meet up in person, but I'd have to see when we're both free. And then so he basically asked me on the date, and then said afterwards in a separate message, what happens at the asexual meetups? Is there activity, or is it mostly just chatting? So I was like, I didn't know what to say, because he does look younger, and I'm like, do you know what I mean? I usually like 21 and up. So yeah. So I don't know what to say, because he does look really young, but obviously, a picture can be very deceiving. People can change their hairstyle, and when you see them on camera, they can look different anyway. So at this point, I hadn't said about the camera, but I said, I don't know, because my mum was sat right next to me, and I didn't hesitate in telling her, I don't care what my parents think, you know what I mean? I just say whatever. And I was just like, oh, I've been asked out on my first asexual date. I can't believe it. And it's by a 20-year-old guy. And my mum's like, he looks very young. And I'm like, yes, I know. And so anyway, hi Ray. And so yeah, I wasn't expecting it. So yeah, I said to him, because I ended up blushing. I said, I don't know what to say to that. I am blushing and smiling. Thank you. Because I did feel really great being asked that. I'm like, wow, this is super cool. I wasn't expecting that, but like your boldness and appreciate that. You're the first person to ask me this. So that's what I say, doesn't matter about his birth certificate age. He is bold and courageous and doesn't give a toss. He literally asked me outright, as you can clearly see. That is very different from a lot of guys that faff around for ages, right? I've got this guy I talked to, who's one of the people I was kind of mentioning in the dating scenario problems, and he's I met him on an asexual dating site, and he was like messaging me, and we were talking, and he was like, oh, I'm like, well, he was asking me about dating. I said, well, have you had any dates then? Because he was asking me about my situation, and he's like, no, I'm waiting to go on one. And I'm like, well, what are you waiting for? Why don't you ask someone on a date? Do you know what I mean? And so like this guy, he just doesn't, he's just bold and brave, asks it straight out. Like, doesn't have thanks for the thumbs up, doesn't have a problem. Do you know what I mean? He literally doesn't have a problem with just asking me outright. So again, if you're a younger guy, particularly in watching this, or a younger person watching this, and it's an older person you're interested in, be bold, be brave, and be super, super confident. Do what this guy's done, pick something out of the person's profile, ask very nice questions to find out more about that person, compliment them in certain ways. Thanks for the thumbs up. Because this guy has done a lot of good things in these messages. I have to say, a lot of good things in these messages. I think I think he's got a lot going for him, this guy, especially with the way he's handled this conversation. He's been very leadership, very taking the lead, which is what I like a guy to do. Initiate the conversation, keep the conversation going. I said, you are the first person to ask me this. We would likely have to have a Skype date first, as I don't meet a guy on my own without video chatting to him first, which, I've told you before on this channel, my golden rule is, and this applies to what you should do, is you should always Skype a guy or person, doesn't have to be a guy, whoever you're into, whatever gender you're into, before you meet them in person, unless it's through an asexual meetup. Obviously, if they come into a group meetup and you meet them through a group meetup first, that's fine. But if you're going to meet them on your own, don't meet them on your own, but before you've Skyped them. You need to see them on video chat to make sure that the person in the picture is them and they're not lying, to make sure they're being a genuine person, not a scammer, and to make sure you actually get on with them well enough to meet them in person. Obviously we're gonna have this Skype session to see how we get. That helps us to see how we get on, which was my suggestion, that bit. Because I don't meet any guy on my own without video chatting to him first. I don't care what age he is. I won't meet a guy on my own who I've not video chatted with first, and a good guy won't have a problem with that. So I put, obviously you would be welcome at a group meetup. At my meetups, many people prefer food, drink, and chat. We usually meet up at Wetherspoons in my city, but I said we've done other things than the things we've done. And he said Skype chat first sounds great. So he's changed the word Skype date to the word Skype chat. Notice. So he's swapped it to Skype chat, but he might not be used to the term Skype date because many people aren't. It also saves money on travel. So he's done that first, so that's to do with me and him. Then in a separate message, he's been very clever about this and strategic. I definitely want to go to meet up, but I'll probably have to wait until after my exams. So he's answered me like me and him question and answer. Then he's asked, he's answering about the group meetup. So, and it's nice that he definitely wants to come to a group meet as well. Shows he's very outgoing. He's actually an ambivert. So if you didn't know what an ambivert is, it's a cross between an extrovert and introvert. It's like you're 50-50. So you could enjoy going out with your friends, partying, but you could equally enjoy a night in at home on your own, watching movies or snuggled up on the couch with someone. Do you know what I mean? So it's 50-50 basically, ambivert. But he obviously likes going out because he's going to 2 parties this week. And he goes clubbing because he said that he drinks cider with like a party with his friends, and vodka at a club. I see vodka is a very, very high alcoholic drink, which, I'm not into alcohol at all. So that's like from a potential relationship perspective, that does put me off a little bit. But then he's not asking for a relationship, he's asking for a date, and we have to be clear about this. Do you know what I mean? So but usually people date with a view to having a relationship, possibly, don't they? So, but not everyone does. So I don't know his tension for the date, but I will find it out, won't I, when we're Skype dating, Skype chatting. So anyway, so I asked him when his exams were, blah, blah, blah. He said when his exams are, mid to late January, so could probably do sometime early February. It might take a day or so to add you on Skype because I'm away from my laptop and do not remember my password for my phone. So again, he's been very honest, open. He's saying exactly like it is because he is his friends at the moment, because he did tell me that. So I put, that's great because your exams are super important. If you were and then I asked him, if you were thinking of coming to a group meetup in February, when were you thinking of us actually having a date? So it's very important if you're doing the masculine feminine thing. So if you're doing the guy being the masculine energy, the woman being the feminine energy, you want the guy, traditional masculine feminine I'm talking about. If you want the guy to lead on things, you need to be asking him a question to let him lead. So my question was, if you were thinking of coming to a group meet up in February, when were you thinking about us having a date? Now that leaves him to be the leader. It leaves him to say when he wants to have a date, when he's thinking about doing it. So he puts him in a position of leadership power in the masculine sense. Do you know what I mean? I've been learning more about masculine, feminine. I think I might be more feminine than I first thought. I was watching some training. Actually, in the early hours this morning, I woke up I didn't go to sleep till about 2:10 this morning, woke up at 5 a.m. and was on Facebook watching entrepreneur training from a high leading coach who coaches like millionaires and stuff. His training's so good. And it was just like, I'm sorry, I digress, but that reminded me of this about masculine, feminine. And he was talking about this is masculine, this is feminine. I'm like, oh, I must be more feminine than I actually thought then. Without meaning to be. So basically, if you want the person to know how interested they are in you, you want the person to take the lead, you need to give them a question that lets them lead, which is basically putting it back to them as to, okay, when, like, you're asking them to follow up, like, when are you going to want the date? It's one thing to say it, it's another thing to actually to actually instigate that and put it into action. Do you see where I'm coming from? So, but by putting it back on him, he's having to think, and he didn't take him long to get back. So I know he's genuine and interested and on the ball, right? So you know, because I wanted to separate, because I'm like thinking if he's thinking about coming to an asexual meetup in February, which I haven't actually arranged yet. And I don't know if I was going to do one in February or not, because February is International Celebrate Being Single Day and also Valentine's Day. I was thinking when he said February, I was thinking, oh, Valentine's Day, it'd be nice to have a date on Valentine's Day, but I didn't tell him that. It's not up to me to suggest this stuff, really, is it? Surely he can think about this stuff himself. But no, but maybe I will have to suggest it. Valentine's Day date. Well, that would be the most romantic time to have a date, wouldn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? But he might see me before then, because I said if you were thinking of coming to a group meet in February, when were you thinking of us actually having a date? But he's already told me he's got exams mid to end January to end of it, so I wouldn't have thought he'd be coming before then. But I don't know. Depends how keen he is, I guess. So I said, I understand about the Skype thing. No worries. I know you're having fun at your friends, and I'm also busy, so it's cool. So he said he's free over the weekend for Skype, and we should probably plan the in-person meetup after. When are you free? Do you see what I mean? He's very, very leadership. He's a very, very young, masculine guy. You know, he's leading. He's taking the initiative. He's saying, I'm free over the weekend for Skype. So he's making himself available to me. And then he said, and he's telling me what's going to happen. So he's leading the conversation, and we should probably plan the in-person meetup after. So he's leading it. He's telling me what's going to happen. So I know in my mind that he's leading that. He's got a plan of action. And then when are you free? Because he's considering me, you know? And all this is like really kind of adult, mature. This is the adult, mature stuff. I'm not saying everything he's going to do or say is mature. But, you know, this stuff in this conversation to me is very adult and mature, you know? He's really leading things, planning things. He's not hesitating. It's not like when I message him, you know, it's like I messaged him at when? Oh, he is thinking about it a bit, because I messaged him at 9:02 and he messaged me at 9:21. But he was with his friend anyway, so I thought, so you know what I mean? But yeah, I said I'm busy this weekend. My best asexual friend is coming to see me for the day on Saturday. Whoop whoop to Sam, who's in the chat. And I have work to do for a course on Sunday. What about one evening next week? So I've said sometime next week. Oh, right. Yeah. So that's what I said. I said, what about one evening next week? Because I'm busy this weekend. And he's like, oh, sometime next week sounds good. I'm only doing revision, so I can move to fit any day. Which days work best for you? Which days work for you? See, the guy is moving his revision time, especially to fit me in. He's moving his revision time. So again, if you're paying attention to this, about how to be good in a relationship, the stuff I'm saying in this video isn't just about this one person that's turned up in your life trying to date you. These things I'm giving you in this video is very sound advice for a relationship in general. You know, how to be better in your relationship. So it's really good that you pay close attention to what I'm saying, because I'm giving you valuable information. I'm pointing things out by analysis, telling you what to look for, whether a person's really interested in you or not, where they lead in conversation, because you don't want to be in a relationship where you're doing all the work all the time. It's not going to be good, is it? Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so sometimes, so, you know, all that's good, you know. He said, oh, I'm only doing revision so I can move to fit any day. Do you know what I mean? That's really him making a big effort to fit me inside. I mean, he's got exams coming up, you know. I don't want him to, you know, jeopardize the exams, but he's like, oh, I can shift things around for you, because I do that sometimes, you know, because I work from home and I do a lot of stuff. I have to purposely plan out when I'm going to Skype someone. I can't just do it like that. It doesn't work like that. With my schedule, I have to schedule it in. But when I schedule that time in, my focus and attention is on that person. It's not distracted, because I've made sure I have time for them. So I said that, yeah, so I messaged them back again when he said which days work best for you. And I just finished Scrabble, because it was my mum's at the time. I said, just finished Scrabble with my mum. Thanks for fitting me in. So it's good to make sure you appreciate the other person back if they're doing that for you, right? I've had guys who I've actually changed my schedule around a bit for, right? My work schedule. right? So I can fit them into Skype, because obviously if you want a relationship with someone, you've kind of got to make them a priority without actually, you know, diminishing your own work and stopping doing what you're doing. So it's very important you get it done. So sometimes I've had to make way for that person, right? So I have like reorganized things for them. But, you know, remember when someone does that for you, to say, you know, to say appreciation, just say, you know, thank you. Thanks for changing that around for me. I appreciate you. I appreciate you doing that, because the guys I did that for, they never appreciate it. It's kind of like, do you not know how difficult it is for me to fit you in? I mean, at the moment, you know, I keep getting messaged all over the place at the moment, you know, emails, messaging on Facebook, messaging on asexuality, you know, wanting my help. And I can't get around everyone, you know, it means I don't do any work if I try to get around everyone individually. It's impossible. And, you know, I've got to get work done, because I can't help more people if I don't get more work done, you know. So I've come back early from my parents, especially to work. So tomorrow I'll be offline most of the time, because I'll be busy working. Well, today now, because Friday, you know, and then Sunday again, you know, that'll be it. You know, I'll be off. You know, I need work time. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I don't get anything done. So, you know, I thought it was really nice that he shifted his schedule around. So if you've got a partner and they do things for you, even if you've been together a long time, make sure you appreciate them. Because I think we don't say thank you enough in relationships. We just take it for granted and we're like, oh, okay. No, it's not. It's okay. It's like, thank you very much. I really appreciate you spending the morning with me. I really appreciate you seeing me tonight. I really appreciate you spending your lunch break with me. I really appreciate you having this phone conversation with me. Thanks very much for your time, you know? Time is precious. Time is the most precious thing you can ever give to someone. And if a person giving up part of their time to be with you, it's an incredible honor, you know, that you should think both ways. You give them time to them and they give them time to you. So it's really good to be appreciative. So I try to remember to be appreciative of that type of thing. And when you appreciate someone, they want to do things more for you. They want to please you more. They want to make you more happy, and they want to do that type of behavior again because they got praise for it. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, it's really important. So yeah. So anyway, they didn't message me back till yesterday morning now, and said Wednesday lunch sounds great. So I said that, you know, Wednesday afternoon after lunch, or in the evening on Wednesday works well for me. I usually do my live stream every night at 11 p.m. and it often goes on for 1 or 2 hours, but not always. So it means I usually have to Skype before then or much later, or I could do an early stream that day and then Skype. But then he said Wednesday lunch sounds great. But I thought he was getting really excitable then, because he's like, oh, Wednesday lunch sounds great. But it's like, I didn't ask to have lunch with him. I asked to actually live stream after lunch. So to me, I just pictured him actually wanting to eat with me, which was kind of romantic and sweet. If he did think that, but it's kind of like not what I meant. So what do you do on your live stream? So I said I will eat lunch before I speak to you, so I can give you my full time and attention when Skyping. So what about 2 p.m. on Wednesday? Is that time good for you? And then I put on my live streams, I share my own asexual life journey in order to help others. So it's like a late night reality TV chat show. I cover asexuality, how to survive and thrive as an asexual in this highly sexualized world, dating and relationships, mindset and spirituality, personal development, self-growth, self-love. I was thinking I should do a stream saying about the fact a young British asexual guy asked me out on a date. I won't mention your name, but I think it's a significant event in my asexual life, and so I should talk about it and share my feelings and thoughts because I think it will help others. I have been impressed by a number of things about you already. Then he wrote, 2 p.m. sounds brilliant, and I'm flattered that you'd consider me a significant event, which I thought was really sweet. So I said, oh, that's great and sweet. I shared my link to this channel and said that is my channel, but I haven't heard from him since. So, you know, I don't know if hopefully he won't be the type of guy that just doesn't speak to me again to Wednesday. But sometimes you can get that type of guy. You can get like once they've made the date, that's it. They don't speak to you again until the date. So I don't know what type of guy he is, because obviously we've only just started talking. but I prefer personally to them to be talking in between, like messaging a bit. Do you know what I mean? It puts you at ease more, and that they really like you. It carries on building the momentum. Do you know what I mean? Building the connection. So I have to see what they are like, whether they actually bother to message me again before Wednesday, or whether they just think, oh, now we've made arrangements for Wednesday, that's it, and they won't bother speaking to me until Wednesday. So obviously it's really early days. This guy is young, but he's got his head screwed on a lot, and obviously there's a lot of good things I mentioned about him in the message, you know. So to recap, you know, what's very important is, you know, first of all, to, you know, to just give you, you know, an outline of, again, what he did really great. So if we go back to his message, so obviously I asked permission to do a video on him. You might have noticed that as well. I did say I think I should do a video on what he asked me, right? So first of all, like, just to recap, so if you are thinking about, you know, like dating an older person, for example, or you just want some more tips on dating and relationships in general, how to approach someone you've never spoken to before, this guy is a really good example of that, because he picked something out in my profile, especially something I was very passionate about, which is my writing, and he asked me about my book, right? Then he was very, very honest, saying that he hasn't read my book because he doesn't read much, but he was asking me more about the book. So then he's taking a real interest. And then he said, you should be proud, so proud. So again, he's already complimenting me. He's asking me how I'm celebrating New Year. So he's taken an interest in me. He told me what he was doing. So he's a very open, honest guy. So if you are thinking about getting into a relationship or dating someone, it's really good to share your life with that person before they're in it, if you know what I mean, to share a bit about your day or what you're doing or your friends or your family, so they can feel already like they're a part of your life. It's very, very good. It makes them feel familiar to you, and when something feels familiar, you're more likely to build a better connection with that person from the very, very, very beginning. So, you know, and obviously he said about my guinea pig sounding lovely, my furry kid Angel. So again, that was really good for him to do that. So again, I know he likes animals. He's got kind of that soft touch about him. And then, you know, and then he told me about how he found out he's asexual, and then what type of music he likes. He was told me about the drinks, and then he's asking me about the kissing. So obviously he's interested in the kissing, despite the fact it seems like he's not done anything himself. So he's asking me about my exes and if I've been with any aces. So obviously he's already taken an interest in me. And then he just blatantly asked me out on a date, you know, very bold, very brave, very confident. You know, there's not hesitation in his words. I'd be very happy to take you on your, and in brackets, and mine, first asexual date if you want to meet up in person, but I'd have to see when we're both free. So that's very, very good. You know, there's no ambiguity about that. There's no, has he asked me out on a date? Did I hear him right? Scratch head. I mean, of course I was a bit in shock, in a nice way, surprised in a nice way, because I didn't expect that. I mean, I sort of was thinking when he carried on talking to me, he might like me in a romantic potential relationship way, but I wasn't sure because I didn't want to assume that with a younger guy. But you know, so it's very blunt. Can you see how direct it is? There's no question. There's not a question that, you know, there's no question that he's asking on a date. I'd be happy to take you on your and mine first asexual date. And then he said, if you want to meet up in person, but I'd have to see when we're both free. There's no ambiguity in that. So some people, they will ask you in a very backhanded or sort of like messy way, you know, and you won't actually know that they have properly asked you. You'll be like, did that person actually ask me on a date, or were they kind of meaning that? And this guy says what he means. That's what I like about him. Well, he's saying what he means, exactly what he means, what he wants to do, and being firm about it and strong, you know. And if you are going to be in a relationship or potential relationship or your dating scenario, you have to be really strong. It's no good being a mouse. You have to know exactly what you want and say it, you know. Fortune favors the brave. I'm telling you this now. If you're on dating, if you're into a relationship or dating, and you know, see someone you like, be brave, be bold, go up to them and just tell them, ask them on a date. You have nothing to lose. What if they say no? So what? move on to the next person. You know, if you get rejected, move on to the next person. Learn to love rejection, thinking, right, that person's not suitable for me, he's rejected me, on to the next one. Like I said, it was only like the day before that was a guy on Facebook that me and him decided we were not suitable for a relationship because he wanted to adopt kids. But he said, oh, you know, he was disappointed because he thought of us, you know, seriously in potential. So, you know, but that door closed. It was ended. It was very crisply ended in the end. I mean, sometimes you have to make sure that when one door closes, another opens, that it's firmly shut. There's no ambiguity about it. It's ended. So you're not hankering emotionally or physically, or if you're not asexual, you know, you're not pining for that person, right? You've cut them off. You've said you're not cut them off as in we're still Facebook friends, but you've cut them off in relationship sense. You know, you've decided both of you mutually it's no good. That's it. He's going to look for another woman. I'm going to look for another guy. End of story. Do you see what I mean? There's no ambiguity about that. So when one door opens, another closes. You have to make sure the other doors shut as quickly as possible and firmly, so you can actually move on quicker. So, you know, imagine if it had happened the opposite way around, where, you know, that guy from Facebook really was interested in a relationship with me, didn't need to adopt kids, I wouldn't have even been talking to this guy like this now and been going on a first asexual date, potentially. You know, obviously we're going to Skype first. I mean, I don't know how Skype's going to go. Just because he's asked me on a date, I basically agreed to it, but said I need to Skype date the person first. So I kind of not fully agreed to it, I guess. I have, but I've agreed to it on the pretense that we Skype date first, right? So I have agreed to it. But obviously, you know, if we go on the Skype date and something happens where we don't feel like it would be right to progress to an actual in-person date, then it's, you know, then it will have been him asking me on a date, but it didn't actually come to fruition, if you know what I mean. I'm hoping that we get on really well, but I know he's younger than I usually go for, which does concern me a bit. That's the only thing, you know, because I do like a guy to look young, but a certain age at the same time, if you know what I mean. But, you know, I like a lot of things about this guy. And like I said, now, you know, like I haven't heard from him since this. He was very excitable, obviously, about meeting me on Skype. Straight away would organise his life to fit me in. That's another good thing about him. So again, if you are looking to date and be in a relationship, you have to make way for that person in your life. You have to be thinking, what could I shift for the person? What could I change around for the person if I need to? Whether that be like your environment in your home, like if they're staying over, you might want to get them some wardrobe space so they can have a little space of their own to put their own clothes. If they're sleeping over weekends, for example, they don't have to be living with you, but they might be sleeping over weekends, might they? You know, like have you got the money to go traveling to see them? You know, because this guy doesn't live near me. So, you know, I said, I don't know if you have the money to come and see me, but I mean, that's not really my problem in the sense that if he's the masculine man, he should kind of like find a way, if you know what I mean. But he hasn't answered. He hasn't said he's got a problem with it, because I said, I'm not sure if you could, because I said, I haven't got the finances at the moment to go far out of my city, but he lives in Surrey. So he lives like a way away, you know, like London way. But yeah, so he hasn't said anything about that being a problem. So, you know, that's good. And so there's loads and loads of really good things about this guy, you know. But like I said, I haven't heard from him since this morning, but I know he's having like a party with his friends. And obviously if he drinks, he's probably going to get drunk and whatever he's going to do. So, you know, I kind of don't really expect to hear from him for the rest of the day, but it'll be very interesting to see where he contacts me between now and Wednesday, or where he just decides to leave it to Wednesday for an actual Skype date. Have to see what happens. Personally, I think if he carries on being the type of high quality good guy he seems to be, then he would message me in between to keep the conversation going, show he's interested in me still, and you know, find out what I've been doing with my day, that type of thing. But we will see, because I gave him this channel and he hasn't replied since. I thought, oh, has he seen this channel and gone, what? Maybe he wants to watch some videos first or something. I don't know. But I think, like I said, he's with his friends anyway. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Don't forget, like, if you do agree to a date, you don't have to actually go on it. If something goes wrong or something doesn't work out between you or one or both of you, you know, you don't have to actually, you know, you can change. You do have the right to change your mind at any point about this. So I'm not saying I'm going to change my mind, but obviously we've got to Skype first and see how we get on Skype. It's very, very, very important. you know, especially, you know, because I was looking for a slightly older foreign guy, but you know, like I said, I have a lot of admiration for him so far, lots of good qualities. The two qualities that are not really my thing are the fact he drinks alcohol, especially vodka's very high in alcohol, and yeah, you know, a bit younger than I would have personally liked, you know. So I think whenever you're having a potential new relationship or date, you have to just be weighing up the pros and cons, but you have to just love the moment, you know. It's a date at the end of the day. If we go on it, it'll be really good. So why do I think it'll be good? Because I think it'll be great to experience what it's like to be on a date with an asexual guy. I mean, it's just going to be so incredible, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, part of me thinks, oh, he's younger than you want, Sandra. So should you even have, you know, agreed to it? That's what I was thinking, was going through my head when he first asked me. And then I was thinking, what if you don't, you know, what if you don't feel romance in the sense because he's younger, and therefore the date would be a bit weird. But then I'm thinking, well, if you Skype date him and see how you get on, but I can kind of get some feelings like that for a guy just by the way he talks and speaks to me. So he's speaking to me really nicely at the moment. Um, so yeah, but I mean, obviously, he might just want to come down for a date. He might want to try kissing, I don't know, and then go back and never see him again. So do you know what I mean? I don't know his intention. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know him. He seems a really nice person from the way he talks to me, but I don't know him, do I? I don't know him, you know? So so like he doesn't know me. So, you know, you have to just keep your wits about you, no matter what age the person is or background. Do you know what I mean? You have to keep your wits about you. Make sure that when you do chat on the Skype or video chat, that you are asking the right questions. So obviously, I'm going to be asking him about himself, about his goals, ambitions, and dreams for the future, because he's studying at the moment. You know, we might find out on the Skype chat there's no, we're not compatible at all like that. And then you have to ask yourself the question, what's the point in having a date if you're not actually compatible for a relationship whatsoever? Do you know what I mean? Is there any point just for the heck of a date? You know? So but it might be the opposite. It might find that we have quite a lot of fun things in common, and it might be just good to go on a date because, like, why not? And it would be interesting, wouldn't it? But you know, I don't want him or me to get hurt. But you know, like if I'm dating sexual guys or like going to kiss sexual guys in clubs, and it's kind of like, why not have a date with an asexual guy? Someone's actually asexual. I mean, it would be a nice experience to be with an asexual guy, especially a younger British one. That'd be kind of like far out for me. It'd be out of my comfort zone if I'm honest. That young, like, well, I know it's only a year's difference between 20 and 21, but it's kind of like it's because he looks younger, so it'd be out of my comfort zone. So I have to see how I feel on the Skype chat, you know. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it should be good, and the fact he's made time for me and seems excited about it is a really, really positive thing. So, you know, always look for these type of things when they're speaking to you, the other person. You know, how much you're instigating the conversation, how much they're instigating, what questions they ask you, if they're taking genuine interest in you, if they're trying to fit you in their life, you know. Um, and obviously, you know, like when that person's not got any relationship experience, you know, that can be a good thing and a bad thing. It can be bad because they can have no idea how to behave differently in an actual relationship if they were in one, or even when dating. Do you know what I mean? That there might be certain behaviors that are perfectly fine when you're single, but when you're in a potential relationship or dating scenario, then you'd want to like change a few things. Do you know what I mean? Like become a better person and do things like more thoughtfully, for example. So but you know, when they've got no prior experience, it will also be a good thing because you can actually say to them, look, I like this, I like that, I don't like this, I don't like that. And they can be more flexible and open-minded. They can be more caring, and they can be more like willing to try things out because they're kind of finding their own feet and finding themselves. So that can be kind of a good thing, that they're not all got all these like preconceived ideas of how a relationship be. They can kind of like flow with you a bit more. So yeah, it's all good really. So yeah, anyway, I hope you've liked this video. Let me see what I missed in the chat. So I know my life's been talking in the chat, but I couldn't be interrupted with what I had to say to everyone because obviously everyone's wanting my advice about relationships and dating. So we talked about that, right? Okay, so I'm glad Ray got home from work. Ray looks after rescue dogs. Ray's got a new job, a new rescue centre looking after rescue dogs that have been rescued. So my life says I'm going to meditate 3 times a day when I wake up, before or after lunch, and before I go to bed. That's very good. Yeah, I'm going to organise and change up my room. This was very good. Oh, cool news. I got a selenite crystal, and it's the first crystal I ever got that called to me. Oh, wow. I don't know her name yet. I plan to do more meditation with her to get to know her. Love is powerful. Okay. Didn't miss anything. Turn the volume up. That's good. So you turn the volume up. Oh, wow. Stereophonic Sandra. Hey. So anyway, have you got any questions, comments, queries, or anything about this video before I go? Because I think I've covered a lot of it. But yes, so I've done a lot of the good stuff. So I have to see how this goes. So I'm out on Tuesday night. I'm specifically going out clubbing on Tuesday night. That's my clubbing night. I'm making sure I try and go once a month now clubbing. So I might meet some gorgeous foreign looking young guys there before I get to Skype the British younger guy. So you know what I mean? I kind of wanted to do that. I kind of wanted to like make sure I'm Skyping him after I've been out clubbing. So but yeah, and also I've got work to do on Monday, and I want to do work up till before I go clubbing, because I have more momentum's built then. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like my reward to like, you can go clubbing now. I've got some new clubby clothes, so that'll be good. So yeah, anyway, I really appreciate you all being here. My life says good night, everyone. Light and love to you all. Oh, thank you so much. And I forgot to say hi to Heather. Sorry, Heather. I do apologise. I didn't quite see you there. So I want to say thanks to everyone who's been watching tonight, listening in. Thank you so, so very much. In the meantime, if you've got any comments, queries, or questions about anything I shared in this video, please post them down below. Sam, he does seem like a very genuine and interested guy. And as you said, it is good that he asked/commented on specific things in your profile. Shows real interest. Yeah, that's what I thought, Sam. I thought this guy does seem like he's really interested, because and he blatantly asked me out on a date without hesitating. In his words. I don't know if he's hesitating his mind, but in his words, he wasn't. No, you know what I mean? It's good that he did ask and comment about specific things on my profile, because it does show genuine interest. I hate it when I've got those people. Like, I've had a guy on an asexual dating app who's aromantic, right? I'm a romantic asexual. I'm a hyper romantic. This guy is an aromantic. He lacks romantic attraction. And I had a message from him a long time ago saying that he was interested in me, but he is not a romantic person at all whatsoever. And he clearly didn't read my profile, because I say about I'm really I love romance in my profile, and he did it again another time, like months later. And you just think with someone who does that it's just ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? Sam, lots of people just put hi, and that says nothing much. Exactly, Sam. Yeah. So, if you are looking to date or to get into a relationship, you should be picking out things in the profile of the person. You should be asking them questions about themselves. You shouldn't just be talking about yourself the whole time, or pushing stuff their way. You should be asking them questions about themselves to open up to you. And it just so real interest, and he does seem like a very genuine, interested guy. Yeah. So, I was shocked that he asked me out so quickly on a date, because I'm like, wow, he's not messing around, is he? But I don't know. I haven't seen him on there before. So I don't know if he messaged me. So I don't know. You should take the time to read the profile and asking stuff about it. You beat me to it. You should take the time to read the profile and ask stuff about it. Exactly. I mean, I don't know what I think I've got my filters on from anywhere from 18 years old upwards, actually. I think I've got because I was on ASAP, you can put your filters to however you want. So I think what did I put my filters on? Edit, is it? No, filters. Where's my filters? I can't remember how I get my filters up now. I can't remember how I get. Oh, filters. Here we go. What have I got? Okay, so I've got I'm interested in guys only. I'm who are interested in females. Yeah, so on ASAP, if you don't put guys interested in girls and you're a girl, then you're gonna get guys come up that are interested in guys and other genders. But I'm specifically looking for a male who's interested in a girl. Relationship. Oh yeah, I've put 18 to 48, and no, I'm not interested in dating a 48-year-old. But I just thought I'd just shove it out there for the heck's sake. But and I don't really want someone who's 18 either. That's too young. But I thought I'd just why not? But yeah, but they messaged me, so I don't know how long they've actually been on the app for. Because I haven't noticed them before, so I don't know if they're new and just saw me or what. But yeah, so it'd be interesting to know that, like, was I one of the first people they messaged? Because it's very interesting. The guy that did like me on Facebook, he said he only just joined that, the one that's no good because he wants to adopt kids and I don't, in the sexual dating groups. He's heterosexual, not asexual, but said he could live without sex. He, what was I going to say? I can't remember what I was going to say now. It's gone out of my head because I haven't had much sleep today. What was I going to say? I can't remember. That is frustrating. I can't remember. It'll come to me in the middle of the night when I'm meant to be sleeping. I was going to say, I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh, man. I was going to say something about, oh, yes, that's right. He came in the group, the sexual dating group, and within 15 hours, I was only one of two people he messaged. He said, I messaged you and I messaged one other girl, which was nice of him to tell me the truth as well. So, yeah, you should take time to read the person's profile, So he seems genuinely interested, but again, I don't know him. I don't know how he is, in general in life. I don't know anything about him. So it'll be really, really interesting. I've seen one picture of him when he does look really, really young, younger than 20. So I will have to see how it goes. I like his boldness though already. I like that, I like a guy who takes charge. I like a guy who drives the conversation, who instigates the conversation, who keeps in touch. So, like I said, it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens between now and Wednesday, because I do know that some guys, they think, oh, once something like that's arranged, they don't need to speak to the person again. I don't really kind of get that logic, in the sense that I think, you should be talking in between times to like build up the confidence between you and the bond a bit more between you, the connection a bit more between you personally. But some people are like, well, it's better just to talk on camera. So we'll have to see how it goes. But he does seem like a very genuine guy and interested. But it's like, but like obviously I get the impression he might want to kiss me because well, it's not about kissing. He was on about he hadn't basically tried that. What's it like? I think so long as he doesn't just want to date me just to kiss me, which might, like I do get a lot of people who want to kiss me. So I don't get that logic either, says Sam. Yeah, I don't get that logic either. Yeah, I'm echoing. We're echoing each other, yes. Because it's not logical to me. Logical. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. It's not logical to me. Like, if you're really keen on someone and really like someone, you'd want to message them surely each day, in my personal opinion, and to build up momentum to the actual day, to build up connection and bond. I mean, like I said, he messaged me this morning to say that he was Skyping to agree the time at 2:00 on Wednesday, and then asked me, and then I basically sent him my channel, and that's the last I've heard of him. But I do know he's at a big, party with all his group of friends today, so I don't know how big that is. So I kind of get that he's really busy. So like, we'll have to see if he remembers me, because I was liking the other day when he was with his friend and he was like messaging me some of the time. Do you know what I memean? It was nice because I thought, oh, you don't care that your friend's there, you're still taking time out for me. Do you know what I mean? Not that I'm saying he has to message me all the time as his friend, because when I'm with my friends, I switch my phone off. Do you know what I mean? But it's just really nice that of him to do that. And it's nice when a person messages you the odd message when they are really busy. Do you know what I mean? Like if they go to the toilet and they're just like, I'm thinking of you, or something like that. I like that. Do you know what I mean? It's very romantic. It's like the guy off Facebook before, the one that's heterosexual, the one that was wanted to adopt kids and I didn't in the end. He messaged me and said it was a really nice message, because this is before we had the conversation about the fact that I was really worried, the fact about him saying he may want adoption in the future, because I definitely don't want it. And then he decided definitely did. Because he messaged me saying, oh, I'm sorry I haven't chatted to you today. I've been really busy. I'm thinking of you, you know? And just a little message like that really helps. Do you know what I mean? To let the other person know that you're thinking about them, even if you're really, really busy. It's very important to do that. It's very, very mature thing in a relationship or potential relationship to do. So I thought I was really good. But I'll see how it goes. I've never had an asexual date in my life, so it'll be very interesting if it actually happens in person, like meeting up. That'll be very, very, very interesting. You know what I mean? Be kind of like, I think it'll be kind of sweet. But yeah, it's kind of like unexpected. I have to say, I was blushing like a little schoolgirl, so that was quite interesting. Um, mm. So yeah, it's all like I can't stop smiling now. Do you know what I mean? So I have to see how it goes, because if he doesn't message me between now and Wednesday, personally, I will think he's not as keen as I thought he was. Because like I said, I think if you're really keen on someone, you do keep in contact with them, because you kind of want to chat to them. You want them in your life. You want to get to know them a little bit better. You want to see how they're doing between, then and then. And so I have to see, but I'm not him and I don't know him. I don't know how his brain works. I don't know how he works. He's not been in a relationship before. So I don't know how much he's never been he's never been on an asexual date before. I don't know if he's been on a sexual date before, but he's not been on an asexual date. He might have been, I don't know. Just because he hasn't had a relationship doesn't mean to say he's never dated, does it? But he hasn't had a relationship before or after being ace, romantic relationship. So that's very interesting, isn't it? Very interesting why he's picked me out to go on an actual date with. Very, very interesting. So we will have to see how that goes. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to Wednesday to find out more about him. But first, I'm looking forward to my best asexual friend, Sam, who's in the chat, that I'm seeing on Saturday. I can't wait to see Sam. I am so looking forward to it. I cannot tell you how awesome it is to have a best asexual best friend, because it's just incredible. And me and Sam will be catching up and chatting, eating and drinking all day, and it's great. Soft drinks, because we don't drink alcohol. But yeah, it's going to be great to just find out what we're going to be doing with the rest of our year. Chatting what's already happened, and we've got loads to catch up on. So it's going to be really good. I can't wait. I'm really excited about that. It's going to be really, really good. Really, really good. Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be really exciting because we haven't seen each other for a while. I forgot to ask you, did you like your New Year gift? You don't have to say on the chat if you don't want to, but I remembered I gave you the New Year gift. I know it was only a little something, but I don't know if you can use it or not, but I thought you might like it. I hope you remembered it on 1st of January. But yeah, so I'll have to ask you about that later if you liked it. But yeah, so it's all good. It's all good. So it's good to have asexual friends, and it's great if someone comes and asks you for a date. So anyway, I want to say thank you very much for being on this chat tonight. I love and appreciate you dearly. I'll say love to my life, love to Sam. Oh yes, I was going to bring it with me on Saturday. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you like it. I thought it was quite a cool present, actually. I ate the one from Andy. What did you think? I didn't give you something edible, Sam. Yes, I was going to bring it with me on Saturday. I ate the one from Andy. I didn't give you something edible. The present I gave you wasn't edible. Before I go off this chat now, I want to ask you, I didn't give you something edible. I ate the one from Andy. You ate Andy's Christmas. Andy did. Yeah, and Andy gave you a present, didn't they? That was edible. But when you said yes, I was going to bring it. I know you didn't. The way you said that sounded like you were going to bring it with you because you ate the one from Andy. But oh, hi Eddie, we've just finished the conversation. We've just been in this live chat all the time. But yeah, it's I got Sam a Marvel pencil tin. You need to put pencils and pens and everything in. And when Sam said yes, I was going to bring it with me on Saturday, I ate the one from Andy. It makes it sound like you ate a Marvel tin. That's why I was laughing my head off. I'm like, you do? I'm bringing it to carry some bits. Oh, that's really good. I thought you meant you were gonna. I'm right on the train. Oh, that's great. I'm so happy because I know you said you like writing and stuff and books. So I thought you can have your pens and pencils or whatever in the tin. That's really good. I was getting a bit worried then that you thought that one of the edibles that Andy gave you was which I presume he gave you edibles was actually like the like I don't know. I thought you meant that it was like I give you the edibles, or you'd ate a tin, like Andy gave you a tin to eat or something. It would have given me toothache. I know. I know it would have given you toothache. You can see how funny it sounds to me when you're like, if you read it back when you're like, yes, I was gonna bring it with me on Saturday. I ate the one from Andy. It makes it sound like you ate the tin from Andy. That's my funniest part of the live stream all night. I have to laugh. If you just read it back, it just looks hilarious. I'm glad you like the tin. I hadn't seen one like that before. It's like a metal tin. It's got the Avengers on it. Different characters. It's just really cool. I thought when I saw it, I'm like, I got you that without even knowing I was going to see you in New Year. Well, not knowing. I know I was going to see you in New Year, sorry, but not knowing I was going to see you before Christmas to give it you for New Year's Day. So I was going to give it you on Saturday. But yeah, I'm glad you got it actually on New Year's Day to have and to hold. Having to hold a pencil tin from this day forward. Do you marry this pencil tin? Oh yes, that's something that came up in the news, wasn't it? You can have civil partnership marriage now between, like a civil partnership ceremony instead of full marriage, can't you? For any gender now. Yeah, because of my surprise trip. Yeah, Sam did a surprise trip to Exeter. It was awesome in December. I loved that. Thank you so much. My best friend. It was amazing. But yeah, it's so cool. I just can keep talking about this all night now, but I've been in the chat for an hour and a half now. But yeah, I'm having a good talk here. But yeah, but yeah, we've pretty much finished this conversation. Eddie will have to go back and watch the whole replay. But basically, I've been asked out on an asexual date by an asexual guy who's 20 and lives in the UK. And we're Skype dating or Skype chatting on Wednesday to find out about it. I have the tin in front of me now. Oh, that's good. And it's good you haven't ate it as well. Sorry. Oh, I'm really glad you like the tin. I thought it was really, really unusual. And I found it in a place I wouldn't have expected to find it. And I'm like, oh, that's really good. That's really, really good. There was no price on it, actually. I had to go up and ask the price, but it was good. It's very good tin. Very, very, very good tin. And I'm like, oh, this is nice. I know you said you like tins. But yeah. So I think I'll conclude tonight's video. I keep saying that and then I keep chatting more. But it's nice to have you all here because I'm back a day early, you might have noticed. So, and Happy New Year, everyone, because I haven't actually said Happy New Year in person. I just recorded a video. Oh, did you see last night's video I uploaded my dad interrupted me in the video. I was recording. I said, I'm not going to edit it out because I hadn't got editing equipment now. And I was halfway. Oh, thanks for thumbs up. I was halfway through the video when my dad came in. It's like, because when I'm over my parents, I have hot water bottles, even though it's not that cold, because if my feet get cold, I can't sleep. So my mum goes to bed early, right? She goes to bed usually at 10:30, 11 at the latest, whereas I can't really sleep at that time. So I was in the middle of recording my video that I uploaded last night, which was about 5 ways how to be more successful in 2020. So if you haven't seen that video already, go and check it out because it's a really good one. And everything was going really well. I was building momentum. I was really doing well in the video. And then my dad decides to open the door, not come right in, despite the fact I was doing a live, well, it wasn't a live stream, recorded video for my channel, and decided to say, oh, can you give me the bottles? And I had to move the bedding back for the bottles. And then, and then he was like asking for them. And so the camera was like all over the place. So sorry about that, but yeah, it's quite funny. I've got to be grateful that my parents are bothering to get hot water bottles for me though, and bothering to care about me like that. So that was nice. I had a nice time over there anyway, and seeing my baby girl Angel. She's wonderful, my guinea pig. But yes, anyway, I will conclude tonight's video. Thank you so much, Sam. Live stream, not recorded video. Happy New Year to you, Sam. Happy New Year to everyone. I want to say big love and shout out to My Life, to Ray, to Sam, to Eddie, to Heather. There was someone else in this chat that was asking me very, very weird questions early on. Who were they? Oh, I'll give him a kiss anyway. Irvin, which I presume is a he. Yes, I think I've covered everyone now. I've said Ray, My Life, Irvin, Sam, and Eddie, Heather. Yes. Lots of kisses to all of you. If you haven't already given this video a thumbs up, I would appreciate you giving it a thumbs up. It is good news that I have been actually asked on an asexual date by an asexual guy. It'll be even good and better if it actually happens as well, won't it? Then I'll have to let you know how it goes. It's very interesting, but the chat will be interesting on Wednesday, so I'm really looking forward to that. And thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed already, please hit the great big subscribe button down below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. Don't forget to check out the links to these books I've got down below if you're interested in them. They're in the description. Asexual Perspectives and my fibro book. Oh, thank you. Good luck, says Sam. Lots of luck to you. Thank you. And I know Heather said good luck to me as well earlier. So thank you so much. Lots of love. Until next time, brace your quote and each other. I'll see you on the next live stream. Take care. Lots of love. Happy New Year. Bye.